at 11 with Phil Sanchez.
Welcome back. Colorado Supreme Court has removed former President Donald Trump from the state's presidential primary ballot. We've been talking about it for over 24 hours now. And we go unfiltered tonight with our political insiders, Kip Tu and Whitley Yates, to discuss. Whitley, we'll start with you tonight. Good to see you. Your reaction to this?
You know, I'm actually not as surprised as most people are that Colorado came to this decision. I'm more surprised that other states had not come to this decision. I think when you look at the Colorado Supreme Court and you look who they were appointed by, this is definitely a tactic that was going to be used. Now, no other state in the union has used this ever in the history of our country, but I'm not surprised that the 7 Supreme Court justices, which all happen to be nominated and put into office by Democratic governors, decided to do this. I think that it's tap dancing on democracy, and I think that if they want to beat Trump, they should beat him at the polls and on Election Day.
Kip, I want to get your reaction, too, before we dive into the politics of it all. She says it's tap dancing on democracy. Your thoughts?
Well, the tap dance on democracy happened January 6th. I mean, it's fine for her to say that, but there was an insurrection on January 6th, and people are being held accountable for it. The president of the United States at the time engaged in insurrection. 98 people, as of October, have been convicted of aiding and abetting that insurrection. The U.S. Constitution is, pretty clear about this. No one is allowed to run for office if they engaged in an insurrection. And he clearly was on the mall that day. He clearly gave a speech telling people to go to try to interrupt what was happening. And what was happening was Joe Biden was getting the votes for president from the Electoral College. And he was trying to stop that from happening. And that's an insurrection.
Okay, well, all indications are this is probably going to go to the Supreme Court. Kip, your thoughts on that? Does it go any further? Do they overrule this?
Well, I think that there's a distinct possibility they will overrule it. If they follow the law, if they follow the Constitution, they shouldn't. But they've shown that they'll buck precedent and do all kind of things to help with conservative aims. So I wouldn't be surprised if they overturn it.
Okay, so the politics of it all, Whitley, does this help or hurt the former president?
It's definitely going to help him. They are literally making him a martyr for the cause, and the people who support him are going to see this as more political prosecution and persecution on the president. Listen, I like facts over fiction, Kip, and when we're talking about the 98 people that were involved in January 6th, as far as the insurrectionists, okay, they can't hold public office, but you stating that President Trump or former President Trump has been convicted of any of these types of activities is asinine. You and I both know it. You're a lawyer. You are making this completely up. And the truth of the matter is no one can connect him to aiding and abetting any of these people. So the truth is that Joe Biden can barely get through a speech to the American people and doesn't have the stamina to beat President Trump. And so the only way for this to be viable and for Biden to have a shot at re-election is for them to nuke their enemies. And so they're utilizing the political process to nuke their enemies. And I don't believe that any precedent has ever been set legally or otherwise to keep a presidential nominee off the ballot.
Kip, I'll let you respond. Go ahead.
What was Trump doing on January 6th, Whitley? Are you just ignoring what he was doing?
He stood and he had a speech.
Yeah, he gave a speech.
Because he was at the mall, he stood and he had a speech. Tons of hearings about this. They couldn't make any connection.
Let him go.
You're the one ignoring reality. The reality is President Trump did everything he could possibly do to stay in power. He violated the Constitution. It's a sad day in American history that we've reached this point, but Donald Trump brought us to this point, not Joe Biden and not Joe Biden's Justice Department. This was a Colorado Supreme Court decision, by the way. So it's just spin on your part.
I mean, but Brady, can we just back everything up and really just look at this?
Quickly, go ahead.
Former President Trump been convicted of anything relating to January 6th and insurrection? Has he been convicted of any of that?
Well,
go ahead, Kip, final word. Go ahead.
The Constitution doesn't require it, so it just says he was engaged, and he was. So,
well,
and by the way,
engaged in watching it.
He's got how many felony counts against him right now? I mean,
but what does that have to do with this insurrection? Like, let's stay focused. Don't pivot away. The truth is, all of these 98 people that have been convicted, he has not.
Well, we'll see how it all plays out. Happy holidays to you both. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on, as always. We'll talk soon.
Happy holidays.
Thanks, guys. Yeah,
Thanks.
We are all friends. We should point that out. Good to see you.